Wow. Welcome, everybody. Amazing to see so many of you here and showing up for the event. It's a real pleasure to be here. I think, just the things we've gone through to get to this point, just so great to see so many of you here. Fair to say, we've been through a lot to get to this point. Each one of us, not just ourselves over here. JH, we worked for 9 months to get everything ready for a physical event. And we start the work the minute the event finishes. Myself and our head of design, Joe, were immediately talking about things we could do better next time round. And it was painful to scrap it, but ultimately at the heart of everything is great content from the speakers that you largely don't get to see within our industry, and those topics that push those boundaries further forward. Meet Magento for JH has always been our way of saying, this is what you need to know right now. And with the pandemic hitting the ecosystem in various ways, across various areas, that knowledge is even more valuable than it ordinarily would be in previous years. For those merchants that need to get back on their feet, for the merchants that want to thrive and continue thriving and adapting to everything that's happening, and especially important too for everybody around them, helping them get to those desired points. A lot of technology partners, a lot of agencies here looking to learn how to advise their clients. And that's exactly what this event is about. So today's conference is about being 2 steps ahead, which I think you'll hear from Peter shortly is exactly where e-commerce was 2 weeks ago, and 2 weeks before that, and 2 weeks before that, and is moving every 2 weeks from this point forward. Importantly, when we decided to take the event virtual, we wanted to change the model for what virtual events look like, provide something new. A lot of people immediately switched their virtual events to free tickets. They immediately said, sign up, don't worry about it, free tickets across the board. And that makes sense because a lot of people are hurting. A lot of people can't afford those tickets. They're furloughed, they're let go. Those people need that support. But we wanted to use the attention the event gets and generates for good in wider than our ecosystem too. We decided that 100% of this income from the event would go to the charities to help those disproportionately affected by everything going on, because we believe that if we don't support the people that buy the products from the websites in the first place, we aren't doing much good at all. For me, there's 2 reasons you get into business. One's to be your own boss, and 2 is to make a difference in the world that you didn't see there beforehand. And for us at JH, it was a great opportunity to show you that difference in how we think companies should support wider society in general, and not simply their own direct means and their direct needs. So I'm really, really pleased to see £83,000 raised for our charities. It'll help so many people. We split that money over Age UK, helping the elderly, Mind, helping those with mental health problems and conditions, the Trust or Trust, who provide food banks across the UK to help people feed their families. And finally at JH, we helped a small charity, the Clifton Community and Family Support Group, by doubling their annual £3,000 budget to help the local community there. Between these donations and these charities will help so many people. And I'm really, really happy to see that help that we've provided. There's over 900 of you in attendance today. I think this has actually gotten up to about 1,000 in the last half an hour. A lot of people, I'm sure, will be arriving late and watching this back later in the day. People from all across the globe in every single time zone. And it's very fair to say that we've gone global with an event with the UK in the name. So it's nice to be in that central time zone, nice to support everybody from America to Australia to Japan, Asia, Africa, and of course all the way across Europe too. I've heard from almost 20 companies that they're shutting their entire office today and booking out their whole team to watch the event, to watch along for all the different talks. And it makes me really happy that we're adding that kind of value, but we're also bringing people together beyond the necessary things like chat and everything else that we'll see across this event. And of course, 34 amazing speakers for you to enjoy today as well. 4 great tracks of content led by 4 wonderful MCs, each overseeing their individual tracks, ensuring your questions get asked and answered, but importantly, that our speakers are having a great time through the day. So make sure you show them some love in the chat, make sure you show them some great comments through the day. It really does make a massive difference to everybody. Our merchant track features the best in marketing, strategy, UX, with excellent talk on building diverse and inclusive teams alongside those as well. Our technical track has everything from the future of progressive web apps from JH to performance, automated testing, scaling in the cloud from our friends over at Akuva, and a lot of really amazing talks that I think will blow developers away. We've removed the basic talks, we've focused on the really powerful ones, and we think you're going to learn a lot from those. We've added 2 new tracks this year. The first track of those is the solution track, which features the very best that were headfirst in supporting the charity initiative that we put forward. And we've worked with them to ensure all of their talks go beyond the usual kind of product demos you see from technology partners in our ecosystem. A lot have really good things to say. They've got a lot of really useful knowledge to share. And a couple of them have brought clients along. A lot of them are focusing on real life examples of things to learn from as well. The second new track we've added this year is our platform track. We wanted to highlight the latest and greatest from Magento in innovation and feature set, but we also wanted to allow their solution architects to talk about things like requirements gathering and innovation frameworks that will really help you have an advantage in the market going forward and put that plan together. So just make sure you show them a lot of love throughout the day. Every single one of these speakers on our lineup has turned up today when they could have just phoned it in. They could have recorded a talk, not turned up for a Q&A. They haven't. Every single one of them is live today. There's 2 or 3 that have chosen to record because they don't want their internet to fail them, but they're there for the live Q&A after the talk as well. So remember 3 things really quick. These speakers have put a lot of time into preparing their talks for you today, put a lot of effort to make sure it's great for you. We make sure a good portion of our speakers are new to the Magento ecosystem. So this is the first time they've experienced Magento and the ecosystem around it. And we want it to be a really great time. But also we have that code of conduct. And at JH and at Meet Magento UK, we're notorious for enforcing it. We want to make sure everyone has a great environment, everybody has a good time. And make sure you read it at any point that you want to during the day. So I just want to thank our sponsors real quick. First off, we've got these 4 beautiful companies here. Between them, they have contributed half of the total raised for charity and have consistently stepped up throughout, from the very beginning of the idea to raise money to helping us curate contents or speakers talking about the experience. They have been absolutely amazing all the way through. They're over in the Expo tab on the left-hand side. Just pop in and say thank you at some point. Do have a chat with them. They are all absolutely brilliant. They're joined by our gold sponsors here with 8 really, really good companies, again, stepping forward to join that charity initiative. All except the last 2 have talks here today. All 8 of these are in the expo to talk to gain from their experience, to look at to consult with them, talk about what they can do for your merchants or for your website if you are a merchant. And finally, thanks for our silver sponsors for donating to charities and helping out as well. We really appreciate it. Thank you for joining them. Feel free throughout the event to connect and talk on the chat. It's a social event. We haven't gone with video chats. We haven't gone with speed dating. We've decided to keep it simple, keep it classic, and keep it into the chat. There are threads, there are emojis, there is direct messaging. Feel free to use it to your advantage. Make sure that that's going on there. We also have JH staff in every single one of the rooms throughout the day to help there with any issues you might be experiencing, to directly message us for help. But you can also visit the JH booth in the expo at any point to get that help directly too. We also want to see you talk on social media and all of the channels as much as possible. If chat's not working, if it's not your thing, social media is. We'll be engaging with that all the way through the day as well. Our hashtag's right here. It's going to be the same all throughout the day. And if you need to message us, our Twitter handle's at the bottom here, so that we'll be responding to everybody throughout the day as much as we possibly can, and you'll be seen very quickly. So just a final reminder from me, really, before we head over to Peter. This event as Meet Magento UK has the reputation it does in a large part because of how great our audience is. When people attend, they meet new people, they're welcomed with open arms and are fascinated by the diversity of conversation, of topic, of experience, of skill levels and everything else. And we have to respect that because that makes us who we are. You're fun, you take part, you support our speakers, our sponsors, and importantly, each other. And we want to keep it that way. We want it to be enjoyable for everybody here throughout the day as well. So take a minute, refresh your knowledge of the Code of Conduct if you haven't already read it, because we will be making sure it's enforced to make sure that audience has a great time and that you have a great time. So the big question here is, are we ready? I think we are. So next up, starting us for the day, we've got the VP of Strategy at Adobe, Peter Sheldon.